Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Sports Tour on Enterprise Television. This is the program where we take you on a journey through all the happenings in sports. I'm Joshike Okoli. We are live and here are the headlines. Libya's Mediterranean Knights to face Super Eagles of Nigeria in Benina. The richest man in Nigeria, Aliko Dangote, regrets not buying Arsenal in 2020. Super Falcons defender Oluwatosin Demehin completes a move to Galatasaray. In Formula 1, Lando Norris takes a dominant Singapore GP victory from Max Verstappen to reduce the gap in the championship standings. We'll also take a look at the fixtures of club football games in England, Spain, and Italy as the injury plague strikes again. Let's take a time out on the sports tour. When we come back, we will dive deeper into all the items on our agenda. Welcome back to Sports Tour on Enterprise Television. I have here with me the dynamic sports producer and analyst Ejiro Emeni. Ejiro, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Definitely, Annie. We can't wait to hear your incisive analysis when the time comes for it on the program.
And I'll be up to that.
Okay. So let's start off by telling you that bottom team Libya has opted to host Group D leaders Nigeria at the Martyrs of Benina Stadium in their 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifying match day 4 encounter. The facility is located in the city of Benina, some 19 kilometers outside the country's second city, Benghazi. Known previously as Hugo Chavez Stadium, the stadium is a 10,000 capacity facility with an artificial turf. Both countries will do a match day 3 battle at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium, Uyo, on Friday, 11th October, before the clash in the city at the edge of the Mediterranean Sea on Tuesday, 15th October. While the match in Uyo will kick off at 5 p.m., the battle in Benina will commence at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Libya remained bottom of Group D after 2 rounds of matches following a 1-1 game at home, a game that was played at the Tripoli International Stadium, and a 2-1 loss to the Cheetahs of Benin Republic in Abidjan away from home. Nigeria topped the group with 4 points after a 3-0 spanking of Benin Republic in Uyo on match day 1 and a scoreless draw with Rwanda's Amavubi in Kigali on match day 2. Richest man in Nigeria, Aliko Dangote, has regretted not buying Arsenal in 2020. The president and chief executive of his company, Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has expressed his regret for not buying Arsenal when his interest lies with owning a football club. He said he wished he had bought the English side when the team was valued at around $2 billion. The businessman explained that he missed out on buying Arsenal by committing his resources to the Ibejuleki refinery project. Dangote, who said that he invested all his resources into finishing the refinery, still had his heart set on purchasing the 13-time English champions. And Dangote, who was one of the rumored buyers for Arsenal in 2020 when the club was asking for a $2 billion fee, has now given up completely on his quest to buy the football club of his dreams, citing the current economic realities in Nigeria and on a global scale as the fortunes of the Gunners has caused an increase in their asking price years later. Dangote had, like I said, 4 years ago, made his intention known to go for the North London club after his refinery project, and the billionaire business mogul, who has now rested his ambition, founded his company, the Dangote Group, in 1981. He has said he will now support the club as its biggest fan, but not as its owner. I'm still talking about the Arsenal case. Arsenal are currently owned by Kroenke Sports and Entertainment, an American sports and entertainment holding company based in Denver, Colorado. The company initially bought a 9.9% stake in Arsenal Holdings in 2007 and completed a full takeover in 2018. Kroenke Sports and Entertainment Company also owned the Los Angeles Rams in NFL, Denver Nuggets in NBA, Colorado Avalanche, Colorado Rapids in MLS, Colorado Mammoth, Arsenal FC, Arsenal Women's Football Club, Los Angeles Gladiators, Los Angeles Gorillas, and all its associated real estate, sports facilities, and media outlets. I'm going over to you, Eji, real quickly. Aliko Dangote, as an Arsenal fan, would you have liked for him to have bought Arsenal in 2020?
Yes, in 2020,
Yeah.
I would have said yes, he would have bought Arsenal because we were going through a tough time around that period, and people weren't happy with what Kroenke was doing.
Okay.
Because he wasn't releasing funds, the budget, transfer budget was low. So yeah, having as a Nigerian also having Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa, wanting to buy Arsenal, my favorite club, for 2 billion at that time. Yes, I was actually happy at that point. But him saying he regrets it, it's actually good that he actually focused on his refinery. And now it's completed, by the way. And him focusing on not forgetting about buying his favorite club, but also wanting to help the country is another big step for him, because he focused on Nigeria in itself, in a way to help Nigeria. And I'm really happy he focused more on the refinery. For him saying regrets, he's just thinking about the
economic benefits,
yes,
and probably as a fan as well.
Yeah, he was thinking about it. So he actually, after saying he regrets, he also said that he always watches Arsenal's matches, and he's going to do his part by always watching and supporting Arsenal.
Keep on fanning the flames, and perhaps Arsenal, calling Michael Oliver out for the game against Man City.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel him regretting it. It's just a quick regret, not too much, just quick one.
Well, focusing on Nigeria, let's tell that Nigeria's Super Falcons defender Oluwatosin Blessing Demehin has sealed a one-year deal with Turkish club Galatasaray. The 22-year-old, who started her career for her state team Sunshine Queens and then played for Rivers Angels FC before moving to the French Division Féminine for Stade Reims, where she played from 2022 to 2024 before sealing a move to the transcontinental city of Istanbul that lies in the middle of Europe and Asia, a Eurasian city. Galatasaray announced her signing on Monday afternoon, and Demehin, who has been a mainstay for the Super Falcons team since making her debut after impressing at the 2022 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, said she's delighted in joining her new Istanbul side. Demehin featured for the Super Falcons in all 7 games at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup and at the Women's Olympic Football Tournament at Paris 2024 Olympic Games. In Formula 1, let's tell that Lando Norris dominated the Singapore Grand Prix to take a further chunk out of Max Verstappen advantage in the Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen, the defending champion, who finished a distant second, is now 52 points ahead of the Brit, with a maximum of 180 points available over the remaining 6 races in Las Vegas, in Houston, in Mexico, in Brazil, Sao Paulo, and of course in Lusail, Qatar, and in Abu Dhabi. But Lando Norris, who was denied an extra point by Daniel Ricciardo, who went to the pit to fit soft tires so that the Australian could take the fastest lap from the Britain in what could be the final race of Danny Rick's 14-year Formula 1 career, as he is set to be replaced by Red Bull reserve driver Liam Lawson for the remaining 6 years of the year. And despite Norris's imperious win, the average points gained by which he needs to eat into Max Verstappen's lead still went up slightly to 8.7 per race. Norris's teammate Oscar Piastri finished 3rd from 4th on the grid, passing both Lewis Hamilton and George Russell on track after a later pit stop. Elsewhere on the grid, Monegasque driver Charles Leclerc looked like he might do the same as he fought back from 9th place on the grid, but after passing Lewis Hamilton, George Russell held off the Ferrari driver when it caught him in the closing laps to take 4th, and Leclerc took 5th, Hamilton took 6th, Ferrari's Carlos Sainz was 7th, Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso managed 8th as the 2-time world champion managed to pass Nico Hülkenberg during the pit stop period to lead the bottom 10, who was headlined by Mexico's Sergio Perez, teammate of world champion Max Verstappen. Well, let's go over to football in Europe and tell you that Premier League champions Manchester City will kickstart their bid to win the EFL Cup at home to Watford. Pep Guardiola's team will be without Ballon d'Or nominee Rodri, who has been ruled out for the season. Chelsea will face League 2 outfit Barrow FC, while fellow 4th Division club Walsall will host 2016 English champions Leicester City, and League 1 club Wycombe Wanderers will welcome Unai Emery's high-flying Aston Villa. In Italy, Atalanta will take on Como in a league fixture. The Serie A fixture was supposed to be played on Monday, but was postponed to Tuesday, while Lecce will host Sassuolo. Cagliari will face Cremonese, and table-topping Torino welcome Empoli to Turin in the Coppa Italia. That was won last season by Turin giant Juventus. La Liga champions Real Madrid will trade tackles with Alaves, Sevilla will battle Real Valladolid, and Valencia will square off against Osasuna in match day 7 of the Spanish Primera Division on Tuesday. I'm going over to Ejiro with Rodri ruled out of the season, Ter Stegen out as well, Martin Odegaard also on the list of long injury layoffs, joining the likes of Barcelona's Benyal and even Frankie de Jong. Can we say that there's an injury plague in football, and how do you think football might be able to, rid itself from the injury problems?
Like I have said, and I will always say again, there are too many matches. Forget the players are always earning every week, or they earn highly, sponsors, they get name and everything. They are still humans.
Or do you think that it's because it's the grade A players who are picking up the injuries and not the likes of Phil Jones, for instance, who people don't really rate as a footballer? Lots of United fans even forgot about Phil Jones being on their books until he finally, his contract was expired and he retired subsequently.
I would say, when you say grade A players, these players play week in, week out. Week in, week out, they are always on the pitch. For instance, after the international break, those set of players, Rodri, Odegaard, and
Ter Stegen.
Okay, Rodri was on injury.
Yeah,
he was injured.
He recovered from injury.
Euros.
Yeah, he was the best player of the tournament.
The best player of the tournament, exactly. So look at it. He just came back from injury, and he has gone again.
Okay.
There's no always time and space. I said the Euros was in July, right?
June, July.
Yeah. And he took like August, and this is just ending of September, and he gets injured again.
ACL out of the season.
Out of season. There's not always enough time for them to rest. Look at Odegaard. He got injured during.
But then isn't it part of the hazards of the profession? Like, for instance, we in the media, we work on public holidays.
Yeah.
We work nights, we work day, we virtually work around the clock. Some departments in media work around the clock.
It is. Yeah. I'll say, yes, they have to work around the clock.
Okay.
Or, too much games, they are getting too congested. Look at it. They've already approved a week for just European competition.
Yeah.
Now, because of the new formats.
Yeah.
This week again, some games too are postponed. Like Man City's game was postponed last week when they played against
Inter Milan.
Yeah. And now they are playing just this Sunday. Week. They are playing again on Tuesday.
It's live.
So I know it's live, but it just keeps on getting, and they'll still use the same players that play on that Sunday.
But then, is it now not up to the coach to rotate his squad, get more players? They have money, so you get more players into your squad, like how we used to see Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger. Also, you should we say the small boys in quote, the academy lads to beef up the team. Isn't it part of the privileges, or should I say the disadvantage? There's also, everything has advantages. You're in a big club, and in the big box, playing on the big league, on the big stage. Isn't that part of the disadvantages or the sacrifices to be in a big club?
It's part of the advantages and disadvantages of being in a big club. But if you look at it, Rodri that just got injured this period, during the international break, he said, him and his teammate De Bruyne, he said, its games are getting too much. And he also said that he feels if this thing continues, they could also go on a protest.
It's the players that will lose. It's the players that will lose because there are lots of hungry, eager to play footballers that will step up.
If other players to support.
Why? Pep Guardiola has Gundogan, has Mateo Kovacic. Why are you using Rodri in every game of the season? When United won the Champions League
Yeah.
in 2007-2008, the next season, because you win the Champions League, you play the Club World Cup, you play all the other Super Cups and everything.
Like you said.
United played over 70 games, and I think the highest player, the player that had the most caps for United was Patrice Evra. He didn't play up to 50 games because Sir Alex Ferguson rotated properly. So we should hold Guardiola responsible for always fielding his strong 11 in every single game.
Like you said, A-list player.
Yeah.
Rodri is an A-list player. If you look at it, he went unbeaten for how many games?
Because Guardiola is always using him.
Because he's that good.
Rest him some games.
Coaches actually lied to their countries to withdraw them.
Okay.
I won't say, they're playing, they're earning their money. But I just feel there's too much games this period.
I would take the life of a footballer to what I probably am doing in my life currently. If I and Rodri sit down and we swap.
Who won't want to do?
Because you're playing 2 times a week.
Always know this.
You're training
after injury. This is a season-ending
injury. Yes, ACL. 8 months, 9 months.
It messes with them physically.
It messes with them psychologically.
Physically and mentally. They are drained.
But not financially because they're still being paid.
Okay, if after
will you be paid for an injury layoff at your job?
Let's say he has injured now. After he comes back, he can't live up to expectations. What happens?
He moves over to Greece or Saudi Arabia and plays less games and still makes perhaps more money.
If he's still, maybe psychologically, he's still drained. What happens then? He keeps on demoting until what is a free agent. No more salaries, no more weekly. I'm not saying, yes, there are many games. They play many games. They earn a lot. Okay. I'm not saying all that. But at least the Football Association itself should at least know how to reduce or help the players in games. Okay, so quickly before I let you go, Man City will be taking on Watford. I think you're giving that to Man City. Yes. Chelsea against Walsall. They don't have a
So, Chelsea against Barrow FC. Then what about Real Madrid today? Real Madrid will face Alaves.
Madrid takes it.
Are we going to see another controversial penalty?
Most likely.
Most likely for Real Madrid. Oh, well, that's how we wrap up proceedings on Sports Store. Endeavor to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are at Enterprise TV 7 on YouTube. Click the notification bell to get alerts on all our new YouTube videos. You can follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at Enterprise TV 7 on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and TikTok. Like, share, and engage with our content, and also visit our website www.enterprisetvnews.com, where we give you all the hot stories on the go, the live updates, the exclusives, and the news you can use. Thank you, Ejiro, for your incisive analysis as always. Even though I disagree today, footballers should play.
I understand. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. And before we go, let's leave you with this statement from one of American football's greatest coaches ever, Vince Lombardi, a man who was so influential on the NFL that they named the illustrious Super Bowl trophy after him. He said, and I quote, "It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up." A call to always persevere, dust yourself off, and keep on grinding, because just like the persistent widow in Luke chapter 18, who always was consistent, whatever you are doing will surely pay off. I'm Joshike Okoli, and I want to thank you for the privilege of your time. Until we meet again on Sports Store, hasta luego.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.